Hello, whoever is this one person. um, do you want to check in? Let me know who's here. Oh, Jenny, hi. So I hope you've had a good day, James. Just gonna kind of hang on here a few minutes and see who else shows up. And so we've been joined by one other person. Tommy, hi. Nice to see you here. Um, and so we'll just kind of be um, be slow about getting started in case some people are running a little late tonight. Um, so anything you want to say as a check-in, this would be a good time to do it. Um, I've had a productive day. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you could join us. Um, yeah, I want to share later about an insight that I had yesterday. Made a difference in how things went today. But I'll share that afterwards when I'm reading from the book. So, anything else anybody wants to say while we're waiting? I'm going to wait about maybe another minute or two, just to see if if others are kind of tuning in a little bit late. I think I figured out for those of you that were here last week, and there was this this issue with getting us over to Zoom. I think I figured it out. So this time I put the message at the very top of the chat box, and I think that's going to fix it. I think that will be okay. um, so maybe we just take a minute to breathe together. I'm going to invite the bell to help us get our breathing together and help us get present. So it's customary that we read a contemplation before we do our sitting meditation. Maybe I'll take a moment to talk about the meditation that we're going to do tonight. It follows the I'm going to call it a style, a format of Thich Nhat Hanh's the meditations that he writes. And this one is based on the 5 remembrances. I am of the nature to grow old, etc. And so this one is not terribly long, and you'll have about 2 minutes or so in between to contemplate, to think about the guidance that was just offered. So let's hear the contemplation before sitting. The Sangha is invited to go back to our breathing so that our collective energy of mindfulness brings us together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, generate peace as one body, be free as one body. Let us transcend the boundaries of a delusive self, liberating ourselves from the superiority complex, the inferiority complex, and the equality complex. We are aware that the happiness and suffering of all people is also our own happiness and suffering. We see ourselves in all people and all people in ourselves. We are one with those caught in situations of oppression. We are also one with the oppressors. We are one with the wise and good people who are present everywhere in the world. We are one with those who are able to embrace the whole of this world with their heart of love and their two arms of caring action. We are a people with enough peace, joy, and freedom to be able to offer fearlessness and the joy of life to living beings around us. We see that we are not alone. The love and the joy of great beings who are present in this world are supporting us, not allowing us to drown in despair, and showing us the way of understanding, compassion, and right action. So let's go ahead and prepare for our guided meditation. Invite you to sit comfortably or lie down. Um, just making sure that your arms and legs are not crossed, allowing your back to be straight but not stiff or rigid. And just begin, you could see that my shoulders were kind of up close to my ears, so just let your shoulders drop. And we want to kind of tuck our chin in just a little bit so that we can breathe really well. Just take a few breaths to begin with, letting your body relax. And as your body relaxes, your mind calms a little bit. We're not too worried or anxious about thoughts. Thoughts will arise. We just acknowledge the thought and come back to the breath. And I'll invite the bell to begin our meditation. Knowing I will get old, I breathe in. Knowing I can't escape old age, I breathe out. Getting old, no escape. Getting old, no escape. Knowing I will get sick, I breathe in. Knowing I can't escape sickness, I breathe out. Getting sick, no escape. Getting sick, no escape. Knowing I will die, I breathe in. Knowing I can't escape death, I breathe out. Dying, no escape. Dying, no escape. Knowing that one day I will have to abandon all that I cherish today, I breathe in. Knowing I can't escape having to abandon all that I cherish today, I breathe out. Abandoning what I cherish, no escape. Abandoning what I cherish, no escape. Knowing that my actions are my only belongings, I breathe in. Knowing that I cannot escape the consequences of my actions, I breathe out. Actions, true belongings, no escape from consequences. Actions, true belongings, no escape from consequences. Determined to live my days deeply in mindfulness, I breathe in, seeing the joy and the benefit of living mindfully. I breathe out, living mindfully, seeing joy. Living mindfully, seeing joy. Vowing to offer joy to my loved ones each day, I breathe in. Vowing to ease the pain of my loved ones, I breathe out. Offering joy, easing pain. Offering joy, easing pain. So just take your time to stretch a little bit and um, kind of come back into a comfortable position. I thought of that meditation because um, I wanted to read to you again from No Mud, No Lotus. I think when we stopped meeting in person, we were in the section that was called Ease, or maybe it was, hold on a second. Um, yes, it is that part. And, and so Ty offered 5 practices for nurturing happiness. And the very first practice he mentioned was letting go, which probably the biggest letting go we will be faced with is what we meditated on, the letting go of attachment to life, attachment to all the things we hold dear, and just letting go. So that was the first practice, and I'm pretty sure we read about that one because we read the story about releasing your cows, letting go of things that really no longer serve you. But I wanted to talk about the 5th practice, which he labeled insight. He says, with mindfulness, we recognize the tension in our body and we want very much to release it, but sometimes we can't. What we need is some insight. Insight is seeing what is there. It is the clarity that can liberate us from afflictions such as jealousy or anger and allow true happiness to come. Every one of us has insight, though we don't always make use of it to increase our happiness. And pause for just a moment in case any of you want to follow along. This is on page 69. We may know, for example, that something, a craving or a grudge, is an obstacle for our happiness, that it brings us anxiety and fear. We may know this is not worth the deep, sorry, it's kind of dark over here. um, we may know this thing is not worth the sleep we're losing over it, but still we go on spending our time and energy obsessing about it. We're like a fish who has been caught once before and knows there's a hook inside the bait. If the fish makes use of that insight, he won't bite because he knows he'll get caught by the hook. Often we just bite onto our craving or grudge and let the hook take us. We get caught and attached to these situations that are not worthy of our concern. If mindfulness and concentration are there, then insight will be there and we can make use of it to swim away free. In springtime, when there's a lot of pollen in the air, some of us have a hard time breathing due to allergies. Even when we aren't trying to run 5 miles and we just want to sit or lie down, we can't breathe very well. So in wintertime, when there's no pollen, instead of complaining about the cold, we can remember how in April or May we couldn't go out at all. Now our lungs are clear. We can take a brisk walk outside and we can breathe very well. We consciously call up our experience of the past to help ourselves treasure the good things we are having right now. In the past, we probably did suffer from one thing or another. It may even have felt like a kind of hell. If we remember that suffering, not letting ourselves get carried away by it, we can use it to remind ourselves, and he's quoting here, how lucky I am right now. I'm not in that situation. I can be happy. That is insight, and in that moment, our joy and our happiness can grow very quickly. One of the reasons I wanted to read that is because it was so relevant to my experiences just in the last couple of days. Yesterday was a beautiful day, sunshine. It was a little warm, but not too bad. It was a, it really was a very nice day, and yet I, I was kind of grumpy. I was very resistant to some of the things that I needed to do. I just wanted to sit outside and do nothing. I did that for a little while, but while I was sitting out there, I realized that the reason I was feeling grumpy is because I had made some of my some of the things that I needed to do, I had made them into shoulds. I should do this, I should do that. And I don't know if you're this way, but I have a real aversion to shoulds. Either the should that I tell myself or that someone else tells me, doesn't matter really where it comes from. If it starts with should, you should do whatever. My first reaction is maybe not. No, I don't have to do that. So I had the idea to just write a list of the shoulds that have been coming up in my mind. I really was surprised that it was almost a whole page of shoulds, a big list. And I thought about that, and some of the things on that list also turned out to be that things I really would want to do because I know that it would be helpful to other people. It would make things easier for me as well, and I might even enjoy them. So I decided to write a list of the things, my want tos. And my want to list does include some things that I have not been doing, like writing haiku and drawing mandalas and singing and spending more time in nature, walking. Those are things that I've been neglecting. And then I looked back at my to-do list or my should list, which is kind of a to-do list, and I I looked at this list. Here's my page with the list on it. And I discovered there are some things on here that, yes, they presented as shoulds, but they really are want tos. So there was something in my consciousness, probably ego, that was resisting even the things that I wanted to do. That was um, that was very helpful to me to realize that. So that was yesterday. Today, some of the things that were on that should list got done, and two of the things that were on my want to list happened. So I don't know. I just found that really helpful. It helped me to let go of this feeling that I should be doing this or that, and to recognize that I actually want to do some of the things that are on that should list. And I just found that really, really helpful. Um, so I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the reading, about my experience. I think partly my experience was maybe triggered or helped by, I've been reading a book by Pema Chodron, and I had just read her chapter about the three poisons and how the poisons can also be medicine. This book that I'm reading is about the Lojong practice, and this is the one in which she teaches Tonglen meditation. But that particular piece about the three poisons, which are, um, she listed them in two ways. The first was passion, aggression, and I'm going to forget. Oh, indifference. And the other way, which we are more familiar with, is attachment, clinging, and or aversion. Attachment, aversion, and also indifference. So I noticed that I had a strong aversion to some of, or well, all of the things that ended up on that list of shoulds. And and then I remembered reading about, what she said about those poisons can be medicine because they point out the places where we are resisting the things that we are averse to. And it gives a great opportunity to look into that and to see what can be learned. So I think the two things really went together, my reading from Pema and then the insight about writing that list. And then today, the reading from No Mud, No Lotus. It just all sort of fell together, which is why I really felt that the meditation on the five remembrances also fits in. It's really, it might seem to some people to be a little bit morbid to contemplate being old and sick and dying, but I find it really quite um, comforting in a way because it's a reminder that um, my actions are what count. Um, so it's a clear, to me, it's a clarion call for compassion, for being compassionate and kind and loving, which is why I like the way that Thai ended that meditation, reminding us to be loving, to spread joy, to bring joy to our loved ones. So, thank you for listening. I'm glad I had a chance to share with you. And now I really hope you will join us on Zoom for sharing. If you notice, there's a link at the very top of the chat box to take you to Zoom. And so I see that there are 6 of us. And so I hope everybody will go over to Zoom because I really, really want to see your faces. And I really, really want to hear your experiences with the things I shared, if you've had experiences like that. So I will end this stream in just a minute or so, giving everybody a chance to migrate over to the Zoom platform. And I'll see you there. Oh, maybe I should close first with the closing chant, and then we'll do an affirmation at the end of the Zoom meeting. So let's do Countless beings we vow to free, ceaseless afflictions we vow to end, limitless dharma doors we vow to open, the deepest paths of awakening we vow to realize. And let's share the merit of our practice. Practicing the way of awareness and mindfulness gives rise to benefits without limit. We vow to share the fruits with all beings. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous beings who offer guidance and support along the path. So I look forward to seeing you on Zoom in a minute or two. Thank you, everyone.